The storm around Jannik Sinner hasn't stopped since he announced he wouldn't represent Italy in the Davis Cup finals. Despite being the world number one, the Italian star has faced a wave of criticism from his own fans, accusing him of selfishness and even questioning his national identity. Some have gone as far as to say that Sinner, born in the northern region of South Tyrol, close to the Austrian border, isn't really Italian. But now, as the dust begins to settle and Sinner prepares for the ATP Finals in Turin, he has finally decided to respond. Clearly, firmly, and with emotion. "I'm proud to be Italian," he told Sky Sports Italia with his calm but resolute tone. "I'm happy that I was born in this country, not in Austria or anywhere else. I say this with total honesty. Italy deserves more than what I've done so far. We have great tennis infrastructure, excellent coaches, and a very strong competitive mentality. I'm part of that, and I'm proud of it." The 24-year-old's words came after days of social media attacks, where frustrated fans accused him of abandoning his country after achieving the world #1 ranking. But behind the criticism lies a misunderstanding that Sinner wanted to clear up once and for all. His decision not to play the Davis Cup in Bologna wasn't about arrogance, it was about survival. At the end of the season, you need time to recover from all the pressure, the emotions, and the physical and mental fatigue that builds up over months of competition, Sinner explained. "You can't perform at your best if you never stop. Having one extra week to rest and prepare allows me to start the next season fresher and more motivated." The Italian star is known for his calm demeanor, but those close to him say this year has tested him like never before. Between the constant travel, the emotional strain of the US Open final loss to Carlos Alcaraz, and his subsequent comeback in Vienna and Paris, Sinner has spent nearly 11 months without a real break. Even for the fittest athlete, that kind of schedule takes a toll. "I play tennis almost every day of my life," he said quietly. "And sometimes I just don't feel like it. I need time to recharge. If I can start my off-season a little earlier, I can manage my training load better and avoid injuries. For me, this was the right decision." Sinner's explanation may not silence every critic, but it shows a deeper truth about modern tennis, one that fans often overlook. The calendar is relentless. From January to November, there's barely room to breathe. Players must choose between loyalty to their country and longevity in their careers. Yet, Sinner also made it clear that his choice wasn't out of disrespect for the Davis Cup or his teammates. In fact, it was quite the opposite. He reminded everyone that he played a crucial role in Italy's Davis Cup success in previous seasons. "In the past, my priority was to win the Davis Cup," he recalled. "In 2023, I promised Matteo Berrettini, who couldn't play that year, that we would win it together the next time. I even skipped the Paris Masters to arrive fresher for the Davis Cup, and we achieved that goal. But when we lifted that trophy, I knew I wouldn't play this year." That honesty struck a chord. To those who see him as distant or robotic, Sinner's words offered a glimpse into his human side, thoughtful, emotional, and loyal to his promises. Now, as the new world #1, he knows every move he makes will be magnified. And he's ready for that responsibility. "I've learned that you can't make everyone happy," Sinner said, his expression calm but firm. "But I will always be honest with myself and with Italy. That's all I can do." As he heads into the ATP Finals in Turin, the same country that once questioned him will now watch him with pride again. His composure, discipline, and humility have made him more than just a champion. They've made him a symbol of modern Italian excellence. And while the noise from critics may never disappear completely, Sinner's message is clear. His silence was never indifference. It was the quiet focus of a man who knows exactly who he is and what he stands for. The world may doubt him, but Jannik Sinner has already answered, with words, with titles, and with the unmistakable calm of a true #1. The noise from critics fades the moment Jannik Sinner steps onto the court. Under the bright lights of Turin's Pala Alpitour Arena, the world #1 begins his first training session for the ATP Finals, and the energy in the air is electric. Every swing, every serve, every breath carries the quiet intensity of a man with something to prove, not to others, but to himself. Sinner arrived in Turin only 48 hours after lifting the Paris Masters 1000 trophy, his fifth title of 2025. While most players would still be celebrating, he was already back to work. Focused. Surgical. Paris was special, he admitted in an interview before his first practice. But now, it's time to move on. What matters is what happens here. This tournament gathers the best 8 players of the season. You can't fake being here. You earn it. The ATP Finals will decide more than a title. It will determine who ends the year as world number one. Sinner currently leads the race by a narrow margin over Carlos Alcaraz, his greatest rival and, perhaps, his greatest mirror. Their battles have defined this generation. Youth, fire, and precision colliding in every match. Alcaraz has the explosiveness, Sinner the control. And now, for the first time, the stakes are as psychological as they are physical. Fire the rivalry that shapes a generation. Since their first encounter, Sinner and Alcaraz have been opposites in style but equals in ambition. The Spaniard plays with emotion, raw, contagious, and unpredictable. The Italian counters with logic, quiet, steady, and relentless. Their rivalry has pushed both beyond their limits, turning every clash into a lesson in evolution. And in Turin, destiny could script their most meaningful chapter yet. If Sinner wins the title undefeated, he will finish the year on top, confirming his dominance. But if Alcaraz wins 3 matches, whether all in the group stage or through the semi-finals, he could reclaim the throne and end 2025 as world number 1 for the second consecutive year. Sinner, however, refuses to get lost in numbers. Rankings come and go, he said with his characteristic calm. What matters is improving every day. I'm proud of what I've achieved, but I don't think about the number. If I deserve to be number 1, it will happen naturally. Those words reveal the mindset that has made him different. While others chase points, he chases balance. He studies every aspect of his game, not just his strokes, but his recovery, his nutrition, his focus between points. Flexed biceps behind the calm, the obsession for improvement. Those who have trained with Sinner in Turin describe a unique discipline. He begins each morning with physical conditioning, cardio bursts, agility drills, and strength work focused on endurance. Then comes the tactical work, precision hitting, point construction, and mental scenarios crafted by his longtime coach, Darren Cahill. But behind the quiet professionalism, there's also tension. Cahill, who previously hinted this might be his final season as Sinner's coach, has not yet confirmed whether he'll stay for 2026. Both have spoken openly about their bond, mentor and pupil, almost like father and son, but the uncertainty looms. We'll talk after Turin, Sinner said when asked about Cahill's future. He's been incredible. Whatever happens, he knows how much I respect him. In training, though, the chemistry between them is undeniable. Each correction is subtle. A gesture, a word, a nod. Cahill doesn't shout, he observes. And Sinner, attentive, absorbs every detail. Their sessions are quiet but intense, often stretching past 2 hours, focusing on rhythm and precision. The sound of the ball tells you everything, Cahill once said. When Jannik's timing is right, you can hear confidence. That confidence has become his armor. Italy watches, divided but proud. For the Italian public, Sinner's story is both inspiring and controversial. He's their hero, the first Italian to reach number 1 in the ATP rankings, yet some still struggle with his reserved nature. Unlike other champions, Sinner doesn't crave attention. He doesn't perform for the crowd. He performs for the moment. But this quiet humility is what makes him dangerous. When he steps on court in Turin, under the chants of Jannik, the critics and doubters fade into the background. All that remains is focus. Italy knows, if Sinner wins here, he won't just cement his status as world number 1. He will redefine what it means to be a champion. Disciplined, grounded, and emotionally unshakable. Every match is a new beginning, he said before practice. It doesn't matter what happened in Paris, or what happens next week. What matters is now. And now I'm ready. As the lights dim in the arena and the training balls echo across the court, there's a feeling that something monumental is about to unfold. Because Jannik Sinner is no longer just playing to win, he's playing to make history. Turin feels like the eye of a storm. Outside the Pala Alpitour Arena, banners of Sinner and Alcaraz hang side by side, two faces that have come to define a new generation of tennis. Inside, the atmosphere grows heavier each day as the world waits for their inevitable collision. The tension isn't hostile. It's electric. For both men, the ATP Finals 2025 represent much more than a title. They're a statement, a battle for the soul of modern tennis. High voltage, the quiet fire of Jannik Sinner. When Sinner enters the court, He doesn't scream or pound his chest. He doesn't need to. His silence speaks louder than any celebration. Those who train with him know that his calm exterior hides an intensity that few athletes possess. "I don't play to silence critics," he told Sky Sports Italia. "I play because I love this game. The rest doesn't matter." But deep down, everyone knows this week does matter. Perhaps more than any other in his career. If he wins the ATP Finals undefeated, Sinner will finish 2025 as world number 1, a title that would make him the first Italian in history to end 2 seasons at the top. It would also send a powerful message to Alcaraz. The era of balance and precision has arrived. Over the past 2 seasons, Sinner has transformed from a fragile prodigy into a complete athlete. His serve is sharper, his defense more efficient, and his mental game nearly unbreakable. Every setback has been absorbed, studied, and transformed into progress. His philosophy is simple but ruthless. Control what you can control, and ignore everything else. In a year dominated by headlines, from his suspension at the start of the season, to the physical struggles in Shanghai, to the controversy over his Davis Cup absence, Sinner has done the same thing every time. He's responded with results. Titles in Vienna and Paris, 26 consecutive indoor wins, and a return to the top of the ATP rankings. Now, with Turin at his feet, he stands on the brink of another milestone. Fire the Alcaraz factor. A rivalry that defines an era. Across the locker room, Carlos Alcaraz prepares in his own way. Louder, livelier, but no less determined. The Spaniard knows what's at stake. One good week could flip the rankings again, returning him to number 1 and erasing the sting of his early exit in Paris. Alcaraz is still the youngest 2-time Grand Slam champion in history, a force of nature whose aggressive style has redefined the sport's tempo. But in Sinner, he has found his perfect counterpoint, and his greatest challenge. Their rivalry has become something bigger than a head-to-head battle. It's a reflection of tennis itself, emotion versus calculation, chaos versus order, instinct versus discipline. In Paris, Sinner seemed untouchable. But Alcaraz thrives on adversity. He's been here before, written off, underestimated, only to rise when the world least expects it. And this time, he carries not only his pride but also the weight of Spain's expectations. Ferrero, his coach, has reminded him repeatedly, "It's not about proving who's better. It's about proving who's stronger when it matters." If they meet in the semifinals or the final, and every sign suggests they will, it won't just be another match. It will be a clash of philosophies, a test of who has learned more from the pain of 2025. Brain growth, legacy, and the message to critics. As Sinner finishes his final practice before the tournament begins, there's a rare moment of reflection. The court is empty. The lights dim. He sits alone, towel over his shoulders, breathing slowly. "Every season teaches you something," he says quietly. "This one taught me that peace doesn't come from winning, it comes from understanding why you play." For a man often accused of being too cold, too robotic, his words reveal warmth. His critics have always wanted emotion. Now they're getting it, just not in the way they expect. His version of passion is focus. His rebellion is discipline. And it's working. Sinner's numbers in 2025 are staggering. 5 titles, including 2 Masters 1000s. A 70-8 record across all surfaces. 0 sets dropped in Paris. And a mental fortitude that has made him one of the most consistent champions since Djokovic's prime. Even the legends are starting to take notice. Former world number 1 Mats Wilander recently said, "Sinner reminds me of Federer in his discipline and of Djokovic in his mind. If he keeps this up, he could dominate the next 5 years." But dominance isn't what drives him. What drives him is evolution. As he heads into the ATP Finals, Sinner's eyes aren't on the trophy, they're on something deeper: balance. Between rest and grind. Between ambition and peace. Between silence and greatness. He knows Alcaraz is coming. He knows the world is watching. But his message remains the same. Let others talk. I'll let my tennis do the answering. And that, perhaps, is the secret that separates Sinner from the rest. Not louder. Not flashier. Just stronger, in every way that matters. When the lights rise in Turin, the tennis world will witness more than just a tournament. They'll witness a duel between 2 philosophies. Between the storm and the calm. Between Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner, the rivalry that will define the next decade of tennis.